you, Secretary General of the United Nations, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. We have witnessed with increasing alarm the effects of climate change, environmental degradation, and unsustainable production and resource scarcity on human health and well-being. As countries across the world seek practical ways to build back better from the COVID-19 pandemic and multiple crises, we are presented with a unique and unprecedented opportunity to set the global economy on a more equitable, environmentally sustainable, and low-carbon developmental path. Despite having little responsibility for causing climate warming, Africa is warming faster than the rest of the world. Like other parts of the global south, the continent is significantly affected by climate change. As such, climate actions cannot be separated from the drive for sustainable and inclusive development. The world is not on track to meet the goals contained in the Paris Agreement. This Climate Ambition Summit must therefore instill the necessary urgency and propel the actions that we all need to take to prevent the destruction of our planet. Developed economic countries in particular must act with urgency to accelerate the reduction of emissions and fulfill their obligations and honor past promises. Earlier call to action. To achieve the vision that was set out of economic transformation, African leaders have called on the international community to support efforts to massively increase Africa's renewable energy capacity by 2030. They are seeking, as leaders, investment in smart, efficient green technologies. They have called for support to strengthen actions to halt and reverse biodiversity loss, deforestation, as well as desertification. Structural reform is needed to promote transitions that are just and inclusive. And global and regional trade mechanisms must enable products from Africa to compete on a fair and equitable basis. And the multilateral financial system must build resilience to climate shocks and better leverage the balance sheet of multilaterals. The system needs to provide interventions for debt management and relief to prevent debt default. Financing for climate action should respect the right of all countries to pursue their own developmental pathways. As South Africa implements its ambitious, nationally determined contribution, which is aligned to the Paris Agreement temperature goals, we see new opportunities for green growth and development. With abundant solar and wind resources, with significant resources of critical minerals, South Africa is positioning itself to be a leader in renewable energy, green hydrogen, and sustainable industrialization. Due to regulatory changes and the surge of investment, South Africa has confirmed pipeline of renewable energy projects that are expected to produce in excess of 10 gigawatts of electricity. South Africa has established a just transition framework to ensure that climate actions adhere to the principles of procedural, restorative, and distributive justice. We are committed to building resilience to the impact of climate change and reducing our emissions in ways that are appropriate to our national circumstances. As South Africa and as the African continent, we are working to give substance to our assertion that no country should ever have to choose between developmental aspirations and climate action. Just climate actions that are inclusive, comprehensive, and in the end that they should leave no one behind. I thank you.